welcome back to another Top Hand Tip with Working W. Today we're going to be talking about proper way to hold your horse for the farrier and things you can do to help keep your farrier safe, help keep you safe, and help keep your horse nice and settled and standing still for the farrier. We kind of overlook what a dangerous job they have sometimes. We don't really think about it, but they're actually up underneath the horse, and if the horse is behaving well, then all's good. But if not, then we're putting them in a dangerous spot. So we as horse owners want to do everything we can to help our farrier out and help keep him safe. All right, guys, we're back here with Nacho, and Timber's going to be our farrier today, and we're going to talk about the front feet first. And I'm going to show you kind of how to, in the first place, make it easier for him to pick up their feet, and where you, the handler, needs to be while the farrier is under there working on their feet. So Timber's going to go ahead and start on one of his front feet here. And hang on just a second. One thing that I like to do, and most farriers like as well, is make sure that your horse is standing halfway square. Because if they've got a leg over here and a leg back here, and you go to pick up one, their balance is going to already be off, and they're not going to want to pick up that foot or stand with, when they're off balance. So just make sure, get them pretty square. There you go. So he should be ready to go and a little more willing to pick his feet up. There. And so as he's working, when he's in the front like this on this side, I'm actually going to be kind of right here. I'm not going to be on this same side, and I'm going to tell you why. If this horse were to do something silly or spook or whatever, and my farrier gets in trouble, what I want to be able to do is get this horse away from him or off of him as quickly and safely as possible, okay? So if I'm here, something goes wrong and I need to move this horse away, I want to be able to pull his shoulders and his front feet away from my farrier, okay? So, and if I were here and pulled this way, I would be pulling him right on top of the farrier. So if you guys ever see me at the barn and I'm holding the horse, you'll see me when they're in the front, I'm going to be right over here. So if something happens, I'm ready to move my horse where I need to get my farrier out of trouble. Okay guys, so now we're moving to the back feet. We're on the same side. He's going to go ahead. He's got his foot picked up there. So what I'm going to do is move myself to this side. And I'm probably going to stand out about like this so I can see what he's doing, make sure my horse is behaving. And if the horse is kind of acting up, I might need to get a little closer. But I'm going to stand like this, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. So we're just going to let him stand there, and hopefully, and one thing I don't do too is, like, you'll see a lot of people, they'll be messing with their horse and all this. If your horse is standing still, just leave him alone. Because the more we interact with them, the more it's going to make, chances are it's going to make them want to move and that kind of stuff. So just, if they're behaving, just leave them alone, let your farrier do his job. And so the reason that I'm right here is because if there again something were to go wrong and my farrier gets in trouble, I'm going to be able to get this horse off of him as quickly as possible. So just drop his foot. So what I'm going to do is if I'm here and I pull him this way, you see where his back feet went. They went away from where my farrier was at. So therefore, giving my farrier plenty of space to get up or to get out of the way, or if it's bad enough to just lay there for a minute and recover. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But so just by pulling him this way, it swings the back feet away from my farrier and keeping him safe. That's the main thing here. Pull it out a little further. Okay guys, one other thing that I know bugs farriers a whole lot is, even though you and I may love it when our horse, nuzzles our ear, I can't really say that I like it, but because I prefer my horses to keep their space. But farriers do not appreciate that, because the farrier doesn't know your horse like you do. They don't know if that horse is going to take a bite out of its ear or, nibble a little too hard or whatever. So you want to always make sure that, and Nacho's usually one of the world's worst about wanting to flirt with a farrier a little bit. So I'm always, when my farriers usually they'll have a stand and they'll have their foot out front, I'm gonna just move in a little closer and really make sure that I keep my horse's head out of his way for two things: to keep him safe, to not let my farrier get, bit. That's never a good thing. But then also to let them do their job better, because if they're not having to worry about where the horse is, then they can get the job done quicker and do a better job. Okay guys, a couple real quick things here at the end. Wanted to remind you, like, as far as if your horse is misbehaving or something and you feel that you need to correct it, make sure that you make your farrier aware before you do anything drastic. You'll see people start yanking on the lead line or something, and your farrier's underneath your horse, so you want to keep your horse as calm and still as you can. But if you do have to correct bad behavior or whatever, just fill your farrier in before you go, pulling on the lead line or thumping them on the nose for whatever they're doing. Just again, make sure your farrier's in a safe spot before you do anything. Hey guys, one last thing before we go here with this top hand tip. I just wanted to touch base on, when you're choosing a farrier, make sure that you do your homework, because basically it boils down to that if your horse doesn't have good feet, you don't have a horse at all. And it's one of the most important things that you can do as far as your horse's health and care. Check their credentials out. Make sure that they've had the proper training, that they have the proper experience. Check for some references, that type of stuff. Any good, well-trained farrier will be happy to give you, references, happy to tell you, what kind of training they've had and all that good stuff. And also, if you're looking for a farrier and not quite sure where to start, feel free to give us a call. We have, over the years, we've worked with a number of excellent farriers that we'd be happy to recommend and that we know would do a very good job for you and keep your horses on the right track as far as their hoof care. So feel free to give us a call. I'll post a number probably in this video, and you can call us. We'll be happy to help you out. There you go. There is your top hand tip.